we do at the end of the day get along, Tina Bree, which is good.
We do. I mean, I actually do like them sometimes.
Because, dude, we know people that don't get along, and and I've been in the studio with people that I've not gotten along with,
right?
And it's hell, man. Anyone will tell you.
Yeah, I feel like that's why it works so well for you guys, and it's worked so long, because you do get along. Like there's those people that can fake it for a little while,
right?
But then it just, especially with the community side, there's that extra, when Joe's helping, share family stuff about you, Tina, right. And, and the community connects with that. And I think that's what's so cool about your guys' specific network, is just what a cool little community it is.
Yeah. I mean, we're, you say cool little community. It's funny. I knew that we were going to be talking to you, and, we're in the Chicago area, which is when you're in suburban Chicago, just in the county that we're based in, there's 6 major counties around Chicago, and that's where the PPMs are spread out. We're in the one furthest from the city.
Right.
And I say there's only 350,000 people, which is the size of a medium-sized market.
Yeah.
But we're not considered in Chicago proper, but we have a ton of people that are listening. And what's great is, you talk about like big fish, small pond. After 12 years, we've been on the air 12 years at Star.
That's like Tina, 30 years in radio.
It is.
When Tina goes out to the store, she actually has to get ready because she knows she's going to run into someone that listens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I'm not walking in there with like my sweatpants or joggers. Like, I have to make sure I am fully ready to go, because someone, we're going to be like getting veggies or produce, and someone's like, Tina Bree, oh my gosh, let's take a selfie. Let's take a picture. As I'm like picking out like cucumbers and carrots and stuff. It's like,
when we're on the air, we're such the family station, and we are so family oriented. Like before we started, Marie knew my son Adam, Tina, when he was the same age. Tina, you met him like 2 or 3.
Yes, I changed Adam's diapers.
Right. Like literally changed his diapers when I got, started working at the radio station. I got Steven, who's like a year and a half older. But it's just crazy the amount of people that, we come into contact with that listen with their kids, and it gives us hope for radio. We see so many negative things out there, and we talk about you and what you do all the time. And like
we honestly do. You come up in conversation a lot.
Oh, that's so awesome. I love that.
But just the positivity though, positivity for the stuff in the industry, the people that are grinding it out every single day. And that's what I saw in you, is when you get people that care so much and are so passionate, people are so quick to say that radio is dead. Right. And in our minds, it couldn't be further from the truth, because, we'll have events and I'll put us up against Chicago proper stations, and we'll outdraw them because they don't take the time to make those inroads in the community. And again, I say the 2 counties that we're in are almost 1 million people altogether, McHenry and Lake counties in northern Illinois. So it's not like it's a drop in the bucket little podunk station, but we try to make it a show that's entertaining and fun, but we're also, super local. That's what has given us the opportunity to be there for 12 years now.
I believe that. And I can imagine how much it's grown since, because I remember I went back and visited you guys in like 2012, I believe it was.
Right.
And even just going out on the town that night, there was people like, hey, Joe, hey, like they just like recognized me. And it was so cool to see that, the community thing, being there in person. And then seeing it, when you guys post something about, being early at a donut shop or something, your name's on the marquee and all these people show up. It's so cool. And I'm like, I would believe that too, that you guys can move them better than some other stations, because I see a lot of stations. So I see how you guys, people move.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, Marie, and I appreciate that. I'm laughing because you brought up the donut shop. Tina, do you remember when Dunkin' Donuts gave away
the Joe-Nut?
They called it a Joe-Nut, Marie. And I look back at the pictures and I go, why did we think that was a good idea? Like, I'm waiting.
Oh, it took me a second.
It was like, come and get a Joe-Nut.
Yeah. Was it a cream-filled donut, Joe?
I mean, only upon request. It was up on the marquee at Dunkin' Donuts with the local owner. Come and get a Joe Nut. And ask Tina, I don't even remember. Did we design it? Did we?
I think, yes. I think you had orange frosting on it because orange is your favorite color.
My favorite color. That would make sense.
Orange frosting. And then mine would have sprinkles. I'm not sure yours had sprinkles on it.
That's the other thing, Marie, is, you know, we've had opportunity over time. The way that Tina became part of the show, she started in the promotions department.
He needed me on the show is what he's trying to get to. I'll let him tell the story, but that's the real truth.
No, so the on air, so Marie, the way that I'll work it on the air is, you know, I pulled Tina out of the depths of the promotion department to give her this grand opportunity to work with me on a daily basis. Like this is a story I tell on the air, but it's all the fun part of what we do, because, you know, when Tina's not there and I'm solo, even for a few days, it's the worst because you're just so used to having someone to work off of every morning.
Of course.
And anyone who's done this for a little bit of time knows that once you get that rapport going and rolling, it's like, it's hard to be back solo. I did the show solo for a while and I started to pull Tina into the studio. I'd be like, oh, we were at an event. Like, why don't you come in early at 7 tomorrow? And then I was like, why don't you come in at 6 tomorrow?
Right.
And then finally, we had a great program director. It was Jack Taddeo at the time, our general manager. And he obviously saw the value there. And all of a sudden, you know, Tina became proper Joe and Tina. Because I think it was the Joe show maybe for half a second.
It was the Joe show. And I will say, you know, I never like pushed for it to be Joe and Tina because I was still trying to, you know, figure out my role on the show. And I will give Joe props. He is the one who went to, you know, management and was like, listen, I really think it needs, you did. He was, I really think it needs to be Joe and Tina. So I knew he was a keeper.
Oh, that's awesome.
From that moment.
It's good to have people that go to bat for you in the industry.
Right, exactly.
You know? Especially
and
as
he
a
always
female.
has.
Mm-hmm.
And that's huge. I mean, obviously, you know, when you say have people go to bat for you, we've been fortunate to have some great people in the building. Someone whose name we don't, when we talk about her, we goof around on the air is, and what morning show doesn't talk about their general manager in some way? And our general manager, Kathleen Cahill, is someone that has a huge history in the Chicago area. She ran WLIT, Light FM, when it was massive, like in the 90s, when they like flipped Light. And just as someone who worked at a station like that, and now we have her as someone that is an advocate for us and being personalities, because we hear the opposite of that so much. Mm-hmm. And again, Marie, that's why we love what you're doing, is showcasing people that just love what they're doing and are having a good time being on the radio and not getting into the, you know, into the complaining negative part of it. I mean, I love when you post stuff on Radio Fam when the people holding a tent down or trying to set up a tent when they're there, or trying to use something to be the weight on the tent. There's like
you've tagged me in some great stuff too, like when it's raining and you guys are all hunkered down under it and stuff.
Hey,
like I love those.
The client paid a lot of money. The client paid a lot of money to have us out. And I don't care if someone gets struck by lightning. We're going to finish this damn thing and clear the spots, and we're all going to live our lives. So we don't get complacent. Like once you become complacent in whatever you do, I'm not saying as a morning show host, and I'll impart that knowledge to my teenage kids. Like once you have a job and you're just like, it's a job, it doesn't become fun anymore. And I still get excited to get up in the morning and do the show. Like the night before, I'm excited because I know some of the stuff that like we were kind of hashing out, and it's fun to get in. Now tomorrow's Friday, and
Friday shows are always the best.
The Friday shows are great.
But
the best shows, Marie, and there's so many polls I would like to do for those in the industry watching it for morning shows. If it's a late night for one of us, that show is usually killer because one of us is just a little more loopy and more, you know,
you're just
ridiculous.
rolling with it. You know, you're still going from like the night before.
Yeah.
First of all, okay. Joe, when anything happens to him, he is such a baby, and he will admit this. Okay.
Oh, I know.
You know, he is such a baby. So we're on the air live, and he dead stops and is like, he's messing with something like on him, and he goes, what is this? And all of a sudden he looks and he puts in his hand and he throws it. He had a tick on him.
Dude,
literally on him.
Oh my
in the
God.
studio on my neck.
But it hadn't gotten you yet?
I pulled it off. I was in the middle of doing we do a Hollywood Quick Hits where we just run down some of the big Hollywood stories. And I thought it was like almost a scab or a scratch.
Right.
So I go like this while I'm talking, and I go, and it's moving. And dude, I seriously legit had a panic attack on the air.
He did on the air.
Like
he almost fell off the chair. He was ready to call 911. He was ready to go. He's like, find the casket. I'm done. Like,
was it because you thought you got bit?
Yes, dude, I had a tick on me. Don't even get me started. Lyme's disease, the whole thing. Holy. I was hitting it with my fist. It wasn't dying.
Yeah, it was a real
dying.
tick. Yeah.
They're like armor. They have armor on them. Give it a damn Google, dude. So now for the past 2 months, first off, our friend Dawn, who listens to the show, she got me a shirt that says tick magnet on it, which is hilarious. But also the number one thing right now that people bring up to me is, oh my God, dude, you guys, Tina was dying laughing. You're having a panic attack. People said, we love when people say they stayed in their car to hear what happened.
Oh, I love that.
People bring stuff up on the show that you did for years. People will be talking about this tick. I guarantee. We still get stuff. I couldn't get a couch in my basement 7 years ago. I just got a new couch. I just got a new couch. And you know what? People were all asking me, did it fit down your basement? Did it fit downstairs? And it's this real life stuff that just sticks with people, man. It's the best. It's seriously the best. It feels great.
And people especially are really into the whole like reality TV. And I feel like that now because of like social media and everything, that it's like a real life reality show that they get to actually interact with the hosts with. So they really feel like they're a part of and really feel like they're your friends.
Reality radio, man. Right. And it doesn't get more real than, having a tick on you and freaking out. And then, it turns into people all of a sudden. The worst thing to do when you freak out is go to the phones because it's never going to be good. Everyone's going to tell you that you're going to die or that, you better go to the hospital. It's never going to be someone with a level head that calls the radio show.
No, because everybody wants to be part of the chaos,
Right. They want to add, they want to feed the beast, man. And it's it's the worst. And then the other compliment, one of the biggest compliments we get, and, again, for people that are watching in the industry is, when someone tells you that they heard you talking about American Mattress, which is a big client of ours, we do live reads for, they're like, oh, I heard you guys mention that. Like, they don't even think it's a commercial. They just hear, oh, I heard you got your mattress there. You were talking about it. And that is like one of the biggest compliments when they're like, I thought that was part of the show. It's like, wow, okay. That's a compliment because the last thing we want to sound like is, a rip and read. And we've all been guilty of it. Trust me.
Obviously in the blog, I have you guys, featured for that virtual remote you guys did. And that was a good example of like, Tina actually like having that product and, for your home, and that you're actually going to use. And it's like part of you and you're showcasing it. You're the real reactions of getting excited. Like, how cute is this? And seeing other people in the comments, and it's just real. It's not like here they're selling this and today it's on sale. If you put in the promo code or order it before blah, 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 you're just like, this is real shit. And people are like, oh my God, I want one.
Yeah, exactly. Social media is such a magnification of your show these days. And we just crush it, man. Our station as a whole, like you can look at the insights, the analytics of Facebook, and we outreach every Chicago station pretty much. And I'm not exaggerating.
We're pretty proud of it.
People can look at the insights and see that we're ahead of the station that might have the highest rating. And here we are in the suburbs and, outreaching and there is a secret to it. There is a secret to it.
you know?
This is honest to God, you know, you hear about, and I don't know what people use consultants these days. I don't think we have had any for years and years. You know what I mean? One of the things about social media that we have found to be highly successful is, and if there was one thing anyone who is on the air was going to take from this conversation tonight, this would be it. Like, these are the like keys to the castle as far as I'm concerned with social media. Tina, I feel like you're going to agree with me. Boy, am I building this up. When you are going to post on social media, the formula that is going to get you the highest engagement, from what we found, is to post it in real time. That is straight up.
I knew that's what you were going to say.
Is the most successful thing is to post it in real time. We will on the air. Now, you don't want to lead. I'm not a fan of when I hear personalities. Again, you know, my 3 years as a PD, I would say this when I would air check people. Those were some doozies, by the way. You know, a morning show guy air checking personalities throughout the day.
Right.
You know, why can't you be as good as me? How dare you?
Yeah.
So what you need to do is you got to set up what you're talking about, but you know, you don't want to take 25 minutes to do that. So I'm trying to think of one of the last things that we did on the Star Facebook page. Isn't it funny, Tina? We just did it hours ago and we're like, what did we talk about this morning? So for instance, if we were going to talk about the first CD that you ever owned, right? We did that.
We did do that today. Yeah.
Yeah. We played some of the songs on the air. That was the fun, interactive part of it. Cause we try to make the social component to drive to listen, because you could get a reach of 700,000, but if nobody turns the damn station on, what are you doing? So you want people who are listening to interact and make it a two-way street. So the key is to get that content out there and then say this phrase, just posted it on the Star social channels or on the whatever social channels you have. It's a call to action. It's 101 marketing. We just posted what we're talking about on the Star Facebook page and Instagram. Open the app. It's going to be the first thing that you see. And inevitably, what happens is people will open their app, dude. Guess what pops up? First CD, comment. We might play your song on the air. We see that engagement blow up because of that simple thing. And it's awesome. And it's something that I tell people that, you know, that work in the industry, because how many people set it and forget it with the Facebook post, Marie?
The song one, that's great. Hear your song played on the air, you know, like what a great way to incorporate that.
What we do is for Throwback Thursday, we have a theme, and we started this, I want to say over a year ago, maybe. And what we decided to do, because the station does, and we're Hot AC Throwback Thursdays every Thursday. So what we decided to do is we would, about 6:10, we would start pushing, hey, we just posted this. Tell us what your first CD was and a popular song from it. It's funny because if you say your first CD and a song, you're going to get every deep cut on the pink CD that you're not going to play on the air, right? Like the radio secret. So tell us the most popular song from the CD. So we start getting comments, and we say in the verbiage, we'll read your comments on the air. That's another important thing. Push people. We'll read your comments on air, star105.com, or as you listen to the iHeart app. Okay. That way people are going to go, okay, you know, there's this call to action. There's this two-way street. So if someone's not listening, maybe they're going to click through and listen. They're going to want to hear their comment on the air, right? If someone was listening in comments, they're going to keep listening to hear their comment on the air. And I know some people don't like the idea of a shout out. It's fucking radio, man. That's what radio is for. Is why did we all sit and listen to our favorite radio station and call in and want to hear a song that we thought we were going to hear, and we listened for 2 hours and never heard? It's because you were waiting to hear that shout out. So why not actually give the people the shout out on the air, you know?
Give the people what they want.
Yeah, and you have control over it there. You know what I mean? You're not just letting them get on and ramble. You have control of it by, you know, so it's modernizing the shout out, you know?
It is. We rarely will go Facebook Live when we're on the air, just because we want people to stream through either the website, or we want people to listen on the air, obviously, because watching through Facebook is not going to help out the radio station assets, you know? So, but when we do go live, and it's it might be once a month, maybe at this point, twice a month. When we do go live, we set up the mics so we're next to each other. Get yourself a nice tripod that maybe has a front light on it so it looks good. Because the worst is when you see people go live and you can't even hear what the hell they're saying because they set up the camera like far
10 feet away. Yeah.
And look, man, I know I'm coming off as a freaking know-it-all right now, but I'm telling you what has worked successfully for us over, you know, a span of over a decade. And you know,
there's simple things, you know what I mean? There's simple things I think that anybody can execute.
Right.
It will set you apart from other shows in whatever market you're in. When you do a live and you have a nice setup with a tripod and you're not shaking the phone and, you know, off mic, on mic, and just, you know, concentrate. So yeah, we'll go live and we'll do what I said. Hey, we just went live on Facebook because we want to show you something awesome that we're going to be giving away today, or something that's happening here in the community, etc. So that's the time. Okay, we can do the visual, but then we also say, hey, if you can't watch it right now, it's going to be there 24/7. We make sure to say that. And then what we try to do is post it and embed it on the star105.com website so that if people go there and they want to look at it, they can look at it there too. So it's just, you know, going through and doing that. So
now you guys were doing more lives, or you guys did a few because of quarantine, right? Like, were you guys doing some after hour streams?
Yeah, Tina, talk about StreamYard, because you were the one to send a lot of that stuff up.
Yeah. So actually, I mean, the StreamYard program is pretty cool. The production value of it is awesome because it lets you connect with, you know, the person that you're talking to, and it's dedicated just to you guys. But what's really cool is, you know, especially for clients and stuff, you can have like a scrolling tagline at the bottom. You can have a backdrop for it. It's still interactive with people. And so it's just got so much more of a production value than just going, hey, Facebook Live with your, you know, your cell phone. It's just got more of a professional look to it or whatever. And you can connect with people. It's so cool. And it just, we've really, I mean, obviously, with the past 18 months or so, and we've had to get creative and make sure that we're still engaging with people because we didn't want to lose that connection. I think that really helped us a lot. And and him and I did some fun ones, you know, on our own, which is pretty awesome.
Right, and I could see the numbers coming in, and that was, again, is like, you know, there's only a handful of stations that I think really embraced that. Like, how can we still connect with our audience? Like, a lot of people are like, I don't know, we don't know what to do because we don't have access to phones. And I'm just like, and here you guys are, you know, like, well, this little station or whatever that is like hopping on Facebook and pulling these numbers that are exactly way better than some of these other stations that I see do. And I'm like, and it's, again, I think a result of the community that you've built. So, you know, going through, like you said, making it a little slick, making it a little, you know, engaging, and just taking those little steps to just make it a thing that's going to work.
Yeah. And look, this is not stuff that happens overnight either. And we're giving you some of the successes that we've had. You know, we got 12 years under our belt coming up soon here. And we just, you know, this is the formula that has worked for us since the beginning. I mean, was there low engagement when we started stuff out? Of course there was, but you got to build it to go. And it's funny.
People trust us, you know, that takes just like in a relationship, it takes a minute for people to trust you, to know that you're going to be there and that you're honest and you're truthful and you're just yourself. You know, we're not, you know, we're what we are on the air is what we are off the air, like truly. And that's really what you have to do.
I mean, I can say that because Tina's mean as hell to me sometimes on and off the air.
You try dealing with you, buddy.
I was going to say, I can imagine.
One of our friends, what's great is, you know, we have so many friends who listen in the area. You know, you're lucky to be in your home market, right?
Yeah.
And I was giving Tina shit about something, and somebody texted me and was like, man, you are like a master pot stirrer right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because you know, we both have teenagers at home. And I was telling Tina, hey, I got 5 hours of sleep. I had baseball with the kids. I didn't get in until this time. Tina goes, what do you think I'm doing? I go, I don't know, laying down with like cucumbers on and like soft music and like lemon water. And I know on the air she wants to be like, cute, you know?
Yeah.
But it's that funny, like friendly banter though. You know what I mean? Like it's just
people,
the right formula.
People are like, you guys are like brother and sister. It's hilarious. Totally. Or an old married couple. We get that.
Exactly.
And then, so, you know, I'll joke around on the air. I was at Tina's house actually earlier today. And, you know, she gives me crap at her house, you know?
Yep.
And I'm like, your husband, like, you don't give him shit ever.
No.
She's like, well, that's because he doesn't drive me crazy. I'm like, so on the air, I start taking credit for their marriage being so successful because she takes all the shit out on me.
Ooh.
And I go, yeah. So I go, now I get to hear, no, because it was like I burped one day. Tina's like, you're disgusting. You are so gross. I go, dude, I've been at your house when your husband has belched the damn alphabet and you've been like, oh, sweetie, you know? So I go, dude, I'm the reason. And then Marie, then I start in, I'm like, it's like a marriage. Like, I don't get the benefits at all. There's no benefits here. You just yell at me, and then he gets all the benefits over there, you know?
Right.
That's hilarious.
We have fun, man. So that's on air. That comes out. And then, you know, we tie it in. We talk about how people have work husband or work wife. And, you know, we know we go into that on the air, that we could open up the phones on that topic. We know that. And we say, okay, let's take it in this direction. You know, tell us about your work wife, your work husband, how long you guys have been together. And, you know,
relatable.
You'll get people, I've been with my work husband is, you know, Jim, and I've been with him for 18 years at ABC Company. And it's hilarious, you know, like the way that, you know, fight and everything else. We have a lot of fun, man. It's been great. We've gotten to see each other mature over the years, you know, which is great.
Right.
And
he's got a little bit more gray hair.
A little bit. So, but you know, the days of Tina calling for a ride from a bar at, you know,
because I was a mess.
Yeah.
I bet that's been an interesting change. You know what I mean? Again, when you've spent so many years together, the change, the progress, you know, the growing up in front of everybody's eyes, you know?
Exactly.
And we talk about that stuff on the air because there's people, you know, you can't take for granted that someone knows all 12 years of our history.
Right.
So we will bring up every once in a while that one summer when Tina was young, she dated the ice cream man in the neighborhood. And her dad was wondering why he kept getting free ice cream. Like, and it's because Tina would be hanging out in the ice cream truck with the ice cream.
It's true. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, he
So her dad was getting free ice cream all summer. You know?
I'll bet he was. Tina's like, so was I.
So we bring that up, and we did years ago. We did a Mother's Day confession, and Tina like confessed that to her mom.
Yeah,
I think her mom was like, mom's like, oh, sweetie, I knew, or something like that. Like, moms know. You know, we call back to that stuff over time because it's just, it's, you know, and not only the fun stuff that we've been through in our life and different things. And, you know, we want people to feel like they're part of the show. There's nothing worse than, you know, someone tuning into a show and it's like this inside thing. And everyone's like, what do you want people to know what's happening? You want to explain it. So, even when we do our benchmarks, like we do benchmarks during the morning, we do, you know, whatever it's going to be, whatever we explain what it is, because there could be, and that, as PD, that's what I always say is you have to assume that there's someone who's probably listening for the first time. And I'm a big believer in that. I'm a big believer in it and saying, like, don't take for granted that everyone knows what the Hollywood quick hits are. Okay, yeah, this is where we give you a rundown on some of the big names that are popping up in your headlines today, basically. And, you know, you have to explain that every once in a while because people be like, what the hell's a Hollywood quick hits? What are we doing? You don't want people to do that because it could be a punch out. You never know. And the people who do know what it is, they're not going to turn it off because you're explaining what it is for 7 seconds. Yeah, I got all the answers, Marie. I got all the answers.
Yeah, this guy, gosh, we're just so glad. We're just so glad to have him.
If you can become the conduit for a local sponsor or a national sponsor, and a lot of times is you are making their job easier. If you are able to have a following and tap into it in a real way, and then make it still count with the sponsor. And Tina, I'm going to let you talk about the Singleton family McDonald's. Susan Singleton has become a great friend of ours. She owns 8 McDonald's in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. And we have had a relationship with her for the past 8 or 9 years. And we continue to just do stuff that stays with people. And it has been so wildly successful. And I'll let Tina, because she's our promotions director, talk a little bit more about that.
Well, just, talking about like building the community. I mean, Joe is right. It's really important for us to tell everyone's story. So whether that's the listener, that's a business, or that's an organization. And with Susan Singleton, it started because, I went to, it was a charity event for Turning Point, which is a domestic violence shelter here in the area. And so, I was there and she actually was sitting at my table. And so we were trying to like tell the story for Turning Point, just, being there and supporting. And then that's how the relationship started building. She started to tell me about, how, she owns McDonald's and, how she met her husband, Chris. And it just was a really great conversation that we had. And then we just built it from there. And it's great because she already wanted to do so much in the community. And that's, we base a lot of what we do too, is trying to be, that for different organizations. And so the partnership has been awesome. And, her goals too are just to try to help everybody that we can. We've done so much, whether it's a school drive, we're doing a pay it forward event now where she actually, every 25th customer, she's paying their order for free at all of their locations.
Right.
So,
and the one that we did today had like 22 winners throughout the day.
Yeah.
And people go to social and they thank them, they thank us. So not to get too far off course here, the community part of it is every single day just living that, like truly living that. And it doesn't have to be sponsored. I'm not saying it has to, but a lot of times that is something that a lot of businesses are trying to do, because we do events that, look, we will mention, I just got an email from a Girl Scout troop in a small town on the border of Illinois, Wisconsin today. And she said, hey, these girls, they started it's a pet food bank to help out dogs, cats, and everything. And I love it. And I told her, I hit her back right away. And I said, we're going to post this on our social and give you guys a shout out. I'll let you know when we're going to do it so that you guys can hear it and everything. Like, there's nothing too small that you can do.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of people that might turn their noses up to opportunities like that. And I would hate to see it because, again, the intimacy of radio is, you got a Girl Scout troop in a town of probably 700 people. Yeah. That is going to be the talk of that town for probably the next 2 months. Right. That they got the shout out on the air and the pet food thing. They're going to get a bunch of donations. Like, we see that power of radio when we do these events. And if there's a personal connection to it, lost my mom to breast cancer in 2008. Every year since I arrived at the station, we've been part of this Care for Breast Cancer race and have raised over $1 million, maybe $1.5 million with this organization that started, not large. Now it's over 5,000 people on a Sunday in October that they do this 5K. And it is just the best feeling in the world. When you could tie something in to a local cause, something that, you believe in. And Tina has ones that she believes firmly in. Anything to do with pets. Tina's like cats, dogs, especially.
Our furry friends, of course. Well, they don't have a voice, so.
It just turns out. So, if you could be the conduit for an organization to have some success, that is going to pay dividends. It's going to not only saying about like revenue, but I'm also saying like community wise for people to remember what you did. I mean, there was one year we had a huge flood and I was out. Marie, you couldn't have like made up like a more perfect thing that I was featured in the news as like, this radio host. I'm on the side of a big truck from the township helping people who are stranded by floods. And it's like, who the hell am I? But people are like, dude, that was so awesome. Yeah. They're like, you're out doing it. I was out, Marie. The guy from the township in our area where it's flooding so bad, he still to this day, he tells people, he goes, dude, Joe on the air. And then I went live from the sandbagging site. And every time we did it, like people would come and help out. And that is the part of it that is just amazing to see. And once you get that and you just keep going with it and you don't abuse it in any way. And, if you do have someone that wants to sponsor it and you can just keep the integrity of what you naturally do to help people intact, that's what's important. You don't want someone to just tack their name on it and be like, okay, all right, we're part of this now. You want to make sure that you maintain the integrity of whatever it is you're doing in the community. So I know that's a huge thing.
Nope, that was perfectly said.
We've been on the air again over a decade together. We've never done anything like this before. We don't sit there and we're
talk
not
about
featured
radio. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
we just do our thing, and over the years that has been tempered a little bit. And just real quick, like another thing, people that just get into the industry, like don't worry about market size. I was obsessed with market size early in my career, and I went to Colorado Springs, and I met Marie, which is like one of the best things that happened, and other friends that I still talk to. But I was like, okay, I'm going to get to Colorado Springs, then I'm going to go to Louisville, and then I'm going to go to and I was like, no, because I left my home place to go there. And I was thinking, okay, this is not what it's all cracked up to be. I'm going to go home now. And I've been here for 12 years. It's been the best, to do that. So don't get hooked on that. Make the best of where you are. Don't worry about what your next move is going to be, because it'll come to you.
Right.
It'll come to you and it'll happen, but keep grinding it out. Keep grinding it out. Keep doing the best that you can do and up your game and worry about yourself and what you're doing, and good things will happen, man. Good things will happen.
It's so true.
There's people that don't even get the social media part of it that are in charge of some big stations, in charge of some big companies. And it's just, that's why we love to bring it up, because we've had the info, what we talked about, the secret that I gave earlier is truly, I believe, is the way that people should be doing it. And I think they'll find success with it and have fun in the process too, and see good things happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Marie, you're killing it though. We appreciate, we see what you're doing. You're just highlighting everybody, and it's so cool. I mean, look, I'm wearing your tank top.
Oh, I love it. I didn't even notice. You're the best.
Well, you know what I'm wearing?
I love it. That's great.
Truly, we have a respect for those getting into the industry that are still carrying the torch. I say that as someone who's in their 40s, early 40s for a little while longer. I say that. Yeah, I say that as someone in their Tina. I got a countdown clock for Tina. I told her today on the air, every day I have a calendar before I go to bed. I mark off that she's getting close to the 40 every day.
I know we're near it. I'm telling you, time's going to stop. It's just going to stop.
Isn't it the worst?
But yeah, we love that people like you are, carrying that torch of the pureness of radio. And for people that are passionate about it and can laugh at it, even though it's not the most lucrative thing for them, because we've all been there before. I did the overnight for $10 an hour in Chicago, data station that was on Michigan Avenue, the biggest site in Chicago for people to go. I got $10 an hour. I had to pay $16 a night to park in the building if I didn't find a spot on the street. And I had to drive 28 miles one way and back. That was my first 2 years of marriage, man. It was not pleasant at all.
It's amazing that so many people have these struggle stories.
Again, the old guy, no social media when I started out. You go away, no one knows where the hell you are. Yeah. Now you got to have that so people know where they can connect with you and use that as an asset, your personal pages all the time. But make your intentions known.
I know it's late there, so I appreciate you guys taking the time to even talk to me. So that's awesome.
Of course.
For you, rerun anything.
That's right.
I love it.
And what's great is Tina always says, and she says it on the air, because I'm Mike 1, she's Mike 2. She's going to write a book one day, what it's like to be Mike 2.
Mike 2. I'm
it.
telling you,
Always
one day,
you'll a great title.
You will see one day there will be a book, and it's going to be what it's like to be Mike 2.
There's a lot of radio people that want to write books, and I think they will all be excellent. So I hope that everybody does, because the stories, man, we all got some stories.
Yes, we do.